the Ferrajako on Feng Shui Friday, Feng Shui Friday, where are you?
We're here.
We're here. Good morning,
Woohoo.
everyone. And we are already the middle of January. Yay!
Like seriously, the middle of January.
How cool is that?
Like, and even better, the days are getting longer.
Yes, they are. And isn't it interesting how it's just like little increments, right? Just little bits. But you notice like 10 minutes, 8 minutes, whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, so every Friday we pop on over here and we teach you how to use the F word. Feng Shui, of course, and we use the personal paradise card deck from our teacher mentor, Tara Catherine Collins from the Western School of Feng Shui. And Cheryl is shuffling now. And of course, you know, whatever the topic of the day is,
will come flying out.
We never know.
Hey, are we allowed to talk about some of the changes for the Western School of Feng Shui?
I don't see why not. Well, maybe not yet. No.
Okay.
Are you? Yeah, because you were referring to the other day.
Yeah, and could potentially be coming up.
No, I think we'll wait until our next. Yeah.
Until we have a little bit more information.
Yeah,
okay. We'll just torment you a little bit with. There's some exciting developments for the Western School of Feng
Shui. Yeah, we can leave it at that.
So I have one card so far.
Okay.
Let's see what else comes out here. Lots are merging. So while got a minute while I'm still shuffling, did we want to share with everyone that, one just flew out, about what's coming up for us next weekend?
Sure. Hi, and we got Sharon joining us this morning.
Good morning, Sharon.
And yeah, we're doing our annual vision quest. So it's kind of like doing a dream board, vision board, but it's way more powerful.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it's actually proprietary to Feng Shui with Anita and Cheryl, the process and the workbook and all of that stuff. And yay, Sharon, I saw that you registered, and I'll be sending you out details about that later this morning.
Excellent. Yay. So we now have two cards that came out. The number 14 card was first.
Mm-hmm.
Gardens.
Ooh.
And then the number 26 card, which has been really flying out of the deck lately. So someone needs this message that's just not getting it.
Okay.
The number 26 card, family room.
Is which?
Family room.
Family room. I don't think we've had that one.
Oh, hang on.
You're
it was living rooms.
Yeah.
That's what it was. So, well then, or great rooms, multi-use rooms, whatever we want to call it. So I love, of course, talking about gardens because, landscaping background and all that.
Well, and that's kind of interesting because this morning I had a thought, and I had bought myself a beautiful hyacinth.
Oh,
right. So
I can smell it already.
A spring bulb. They're very fragrant, called hyacinth, right? So a high scent
HY
really is where the botanical name comes from, derived from. And I have it downstairs in my living room or family room. And I was going to bring it upstairs and have it here just in our view this morning, because I was thinking that, as we're, like you were saying, Cheryl, the days are starting to get a little bit longer, so that just perks us up a little bit. But the importance of bringing some of those fresh plants and fresh flowers indoors this time of year. My husband bought me a beautiful bouquet of flowers the other day. So I have this big, beautiful bouquet of flowers on the dining room.
Nice.
And then I've got this beautiful hyacinth plant in the living room. And again, you walk by and you get that waft of
that's my favorite thing about the hyacinth. They are so fragrant.
And I
love
mean,
it.
I love scents. I love
Mhm.
the scents from the different flowers. Some
Yes.
people, can't tolerate them.
Right. This is true.
However, so this is a great reminder to
Mhm.
say, how do you feel in the spring and the summer when you're out working in your flower garden? How does that make you feel? That connectedness. And we need to have that feeling.
Mhm.
We don't have to reserve it just for the spring and summer,
Exactly.
right? Let's bring some of that goodness indoors and enjoy it, because what it does is it puts us in an emotional state where we just go, right?
Well, it takes us back to connecting with Gaia, right?
Yeah.
Connecting with nature, that grounding, connecting with her and your garden. For many, for some, it's not bringing them into a state of happiness.
Well, and
But it probably does if they're not working in it or forced to work in it.
oh yeah, no, that's true. Yeah. And I mean, some people are, maybe not gardeners
No.
per se, but again, it's an opportunity to connect with something that is alive,
Mhm.
that's living, that you can care for, that you can nurture.
Exactly.
And again, it's, just taking your attention away from, oh, it's cold outside, it's snowy, or it's, the days are shorter,
Mhm.
or something like that.
Right, exactly. One of the things I love about this card, the garden card coming up this time of year, is because this is the perfect opportunity to look at your garden from a different set of eyes.
Mm-hmm.
So when we're outside, we tend to look at our landscape and our garden from being outside, from being on the patio and functionality. But really, your garden is 365 days of the year. You should be able to enjoy your garden from every window in your space. So as you're inside, grab your coffee and go look at your garden from a different window. Look at your yard, look at your landscape and think, what would I like to change? What would I prefer to see? Do I want to look at the garbage cans? Probably not. Do I want to look at, the dog run? Whatever the case may be.
Yeah.
Because really, enjoy your garden, enjoy your view from your window. There are so many people in the world that all they see is another window. All they see is concrete and brick and mortar and the city. And if you've got the opportunity and the privilege to look out your window at a garden, beautify that space. So this is your planning opportunity. This is the perfect opportunity, really, and the perfect time of year, especially for us in the Northern Hemisphere, to look at it from a different perspective, those Feng Shui eyes.
Well, and of course, you, Cheryl, having a background in landscape architecture, right? You also, I mean, you have an amazing, beautiful garden. I just have to say good morning, Paula.
Oh, hi, Paula.
Yeah, and so this is also another opportunity to plan ahead, right? It might be, okay, what do I want to change in my garden this spring, so that you can incorporate that view, the feng shui view, from the windows, and say, hey, you know what, that bush or something needs to be pruned this spring so that I can have a more enjoyable view sitting out my family room window or something. Right?
Exactly.
So yeah, it's all about, looking through energetically all of those things to say, how does it make me feel? How does it make me feel? And if it makes you feel like, then you know what? You're doing a great job. If it makes you feel like, ooh, or, any kind of, where you start to feel tightness in your body, then, okay, what can we do to shift and change that so that it's going to make me feel better?
Exactly. And really, your windows can be thought of as another piece of art.
Yeah.
And they're framing what you want to look at. So that can be another perspective in the way you look at things. we are fortunate enough that as I've designed the yard and the garden, you know, we strategically planted trees in specific areas to block out the view of things I don't want to see. Right. And so this is the perfect time of year because now the leaves are off the trees for the most part, for most people.
Yeah.
What is the view? What is your view beyond? What's around that view? So again, you can enjoy your home, your space through all visual aspects.
Well, and you know, we also can look at the natural surroundings as well to see if we have good chi in our garden.
Exactly.
So are we attracting birds this time of year? You know, are we attracting some kind of energy? And if you are, yay, great. But if you're not, same kind of thing applies. Like, you know, the energy of it might need to be shifted. So
exactly. And you know, it's also a great opportunity too, because we talk about the Bagua quite often. Well, the Bagua isn't just for your home or a building. You can also place the Bagua on your property. And you can learn about that.
Your garden specifically, right?
Exactly.
And it's a really cool opportunity to say, okay, I'm going to place this statue in the relationship area of my garden, or a rose bush, or, you know, something in the fire element, or whatever. So yeah, it's so much fun to play with the Bagua in landscape and the garden.
Absolutely.
And, you know, I've both done it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's a lot of fun.
And continue to do it.
Yeah.
Because it's fun. And it gives you the opportunity this time of year too, to do the planning, learn a little bit about, or go visit some garden centers and start thinking, okay, in the spring, I'm going to do this. So before I do that, what do I need to do prior to that? So there's a planning opportunity. So for me, the January, February, March, before we can get outside and get at stuff, are perfect organizing, planning.
And you know what? Sharon just says, oh, I didn't know you could use the Bagua in the yard. And it's, yes.
Absolutely.
I mean, you can use the Bagua anywhere.
Everywhere.
You know, the macro to the micro. And I mean, so you could do it for your whole property. And then knowing from your whole property perspective, the garden is in, you know, maybe the garden is in the health and family area of the
property
land, right? And then knowing that, then it's like, okay, if I want to enhance my family and health, then I can really concentrate on growing healthy food in my garden, right? And then again, then you start to go down into the micro. So yeah, it's very, very cool.
You can use the Bagua in your vegetable garden if you want.
Yeah. And
start coordinating it for color. Like there's so many things you can do with the Bagua. It's amazing.
It is. It's so much fun. And Paula says that, you know what, they've already ordered their seeds and now they're going to organize the garden. And
perfect.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now's the time to plan. Not in the spring when you want to get out there and go, oh, where are we going to put this stuff? I don't know. And then you move it 2 or 3 times, right? It's just
and you could map out your little garden right now and look at the Bagua and then say, okay, where am I going to plant this and that and whatever. And, you know, I just have to say, like, Cheryl, your yard is amazing, front, back, side. I mean, it totally is a beautiful space in any season. And I think it would be kind of fun, because I think you have some photos. It'd be kind of fun if you could maybe share some photos of your backyard with us. Wouldn't that be cool?
Absolutely. I can do front and back. It's interesting because you were talking about, you know, how is the chi moving? Birds? Oh yeah, we got birds. Deer. Lots of deer. and it's interesting, the rabbits this year too. So I know that the chi is always circulating in our clothes, not just our yard in particular. I see them in our yard because they come for the buffet, is what the neighbors say. Quit planting stuff because they come for the buffet to your place.
And they're probably wondering, like, what the heck? Where did the buffet go? Right?
Yeah.
Where's my fresh beet greens and carrot tops and raspberries
and sunflowers and raspberries? Yeah, a little There's mornings they get called names that don't start with an F, but that comes up on occasion too. So let's talk about the family room and, you know, in coordination with the garden a little bit. And the family room being that media room, that great room. What other names is it called right now?
Mm-hmm.
Any other names for it that you can think of?
Yeah. You know, what's kind of interesting is, you know, and it is kind of, well, it's always, you know, it's always the way it's supposed to be. So we were out for dinner about a week ago, I think it was, and to somebody's house we hadn't been before, and they have a living room, you know, what you would define as a living room, off the dining room. And then there's in between the kitchen and, you know, that space over there, then there's another area which would be considered the family room and formal dining room, right? And what I noticed with my Feng Shui eyes, and I see this a lot, and I don't think we've ever talked about this.
Well, then this is the perfect opportunity.
Yeah. What happens is quite often when you have, you know, those two different spaces like that, one of those areas is used, you know, more often, and the other one, people don't gravitate there. And what I see, and the reason why a lot of times, is that the family room or the great room, or right, or the formal gathering area, which could still be in the central area of the home, quite often, and especially in some of these newer homes that we see in the last, you know, 10 to 20 years, is that the ceilings are really high. And, you know, you could have a, in those great rooms, the ceiling could be 20 feet high, right? You know, you've got this grandiose entryway and you're coming into this large space that has furniture in it, but nobody goes in there.
Yeah.
And it was the case at this place that we went, because that, and it was just like that. You know, we had these high ceilings, and then the area that would have been considered the living room off the kitchen, the ceilings were lower, and it had,
that's where everybody was.
And everybody wanted to gravitate over there.
Yes.
And it's because when we have all this space up here, we don't feel comfortable. You know, our autonomic nervous system is responding to that large vastness of space, and we don't feel safe and comfortable. That's what it comes down to. We want to feel hugged and cozy and warm and
secure,
you know, all of that. And so then that living room space that had the lower ceilings, we don't feel as intimidated. We don't feel as, you know, kind of like, oh, wow. And, you know, so many times when I've done in-home consultations, you know, there have been, you know, this grandiose family room area, and you know, you put your expensive leather furniture in there, and you know, all of that, and nobody goes in there. Nobody goes in there. Yeah.
It's true.
So
it's true.
What could we do? So if we, let's say we had a client, right, or somebody that's listening to this, what could we recommend to them to make the space more livable, so that the family would actually come and gather in that family room space?
Well, we could create some kind of, I don't want to say partition, but even a visual block around the 8-foot, 10-foot height around the room, to bring the feeling of the ceiling being a little bit lower, back down to our level. So whether it's, you know, your rods from your drapery all at the same height, or some imagery, some pictures, things like that, can create that visual line for your eye that gives the sense of, okay, The ceiling is not so high. It gives us a place to look and feel like the space is smaller.
Right. And the other thing is that quite often when we have those higher ceilings, you know, there's more wall space. And then again, what I've seen, you know, time and time again, is people will hang a picture and they'll hang it way up there because there's so much wall space. And what that's doing is it's drawing your eye up. And again, then we start to feel like, oh, I could tip over any moment, right? And so just a good rule of thumb is to keep, you know, especially when you have vaulted ceilings, anything like that, is you want to keep that definition or define heaven and earth. So anything, you know, like you mentioned, Cheryl, anything kind of above that 8-foot mark is considered the space for the heavens, and anything below is considered the space for the earth. So hanging your pictures in the earth space helps you to stay grounded. And if you were to feel inclined to hang or put anything in the heaven space, then make sure that what's in the heaven belongs in the heavens. So a great example, my sister built a new house recently, and my other sister, we went out to visit them back in October, I think it was. She has vaulted ceilings in her family room, dining room, and up on a ledge in the heaven space, she had all of these knicky-knack things that were wood carvings of fish. Thing,
out of place.
She had collected in Mexico, right? And there was the fish, the swordfish, there was all kinds of fish, but they were in the heavens. And so I said to her, you know, we need to take those down because the fish don't belong in the heavens. They belong, you know, in the water. And again, you know, when you're coming into that space and you're immediately looking up because you have that vaulted ceiling, then that's where your eye goes, and you know, something starts to compute in your brain, in the subconscious, that says, well, that doesn't make sense, you know, and you start to feel again
off balance,
uneasy or off balance.
Yeah, so, absolutely. So now that we've talked about, and that's a great topic, Anita. So here is what I would suggest to people. Next time you're out, observe how you feel in the different places. And this will start to make sense to you, what we're talking about. Maybe it's in your own home, or maybe it's someplace you go, like to a hotel or something along those lines. So just observe how you feel in an 8 to 10 foot ceiling space versus a 20. Just observe. That's a little bit of a challenge for you. But let's go back to the family room in and of itself, and a busy family room. This is for me where I think organization is of great importance. So your furniture placement, and if you've got little people that are in your home, safety, because we always talk about the three parts, the three legs, the three aspects, the three pillars that we work with. Security, so your safety and security, your comfort, and then your aesthetics when it comes to working with clients for Feng Shui. So let's talk about the security when you've got little people in a family room. So potential dangers like cords, sharp corners on your furniture, things like that. And for the older people, tripping hazards. Because our furniture is quite often larger in family rooms. For some reason, we think larger is more comfort.
Right.
Taking up more space. But does that space create an obstacle course? Or does it block the chi flow in the room? Because I can see some of those big, like huge sectional pieces of furniture in family rooms. And literally it's blocking everything. It's set up to look at the TV, typically. Is there good chi flow in that room?
Well, and you know, again, we always go back to look at the results.
Yeah.
What are the results that are currently showing up for you in your home, right? So the result being, where do people gravitate when they come over? You know, do they linger longer? Do they, you know, fall asleep on the couch because it feels safe? You know, where do the animals go? No different than outside in our garden. If we're attracting the chi, we're attracting that chi, then, you know, the animals are very, very sensitive to the flow and vibration of, you know, that frequency. And so they will gravitate to one area or the other. So, you know what, we're already at the top of the hour, Cheryl.
Holy smokes.
I know.
You got me talking about gardening. That's what happened.
Yeah, I know. So you know what, we're going to just talk briefly about the numbers. So the 1 and the 4 equals 5, right? Which is change, change, change. And 2 and a 6 together equals the 8. And again, you know, that's about keeping that nice flow of energy. And then if we added those all together, what do we get? 13,
13, which is a 4.
Which that's
organization.
And then it comes back to organization and foundation. And of course, you know, a couple of weeks back, we had our beautiful guest on, Marilyn Harper, also known as Adironda, who is the co-author of the book called Double Digitology. So yeah, we love how we get, you know, information comes to us through numbers, through symbols, through animals, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So it's just an awareness, again, putting our Feng Shui eyes on and saying, okay, what does that mean for me today? What is it that I need to recognize or glean from that?
And we already had Sharon who said, oh, you can use the Bagua property. So
yay! Yay! Okay, well, you know what? We'll see you all next week. And some of you will see, when we do our vision quest. And of course, there is still time to join the 21-day decluttering challenge, which we started on Tuesday. So if anybody wants to come and hang out and do that with us, that's pretty exciting too. Yeah.
Excellent. Have a fabulous day, everybody.
Bye for now. We'll see you next time. Feng Shui
Friday.
Feng Shui Friday. Where are you?